getting results.
We're about to close out the month of September, which is National Suicide Prevention Month. But the reality is this is an important topic year-round.
It can be uncomfortable to talk about, but you never know when talking about it could really help someone, even possibly save their life. Morning anchor and health reporter Kirsten O'Connor is standing by now to talk to a doctor about the signs to look for and ways to help.
Ask a Doctor is sponsored by Conviva Primary Care for Seniors.
Well, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, with an average of 130 people taking their lives every day. And there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to things like depression and suicide. So to help us sort it out, help ourselves, help our loved ones, we have Shantala Boss, a licensed mental health counselor, joining us today for Ask a Doctor. This is such an important cause. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It is so important to talk about.
And so you work with kids a lot of times.
I do.
And
teens,
we were talking,
adolescents.
right,
yeah.
middle schoolers. So how do we talk about this topic with kids that age?
Well, middle schoolers are searching for identity, so they're trying to find a label or a group, and sometimes with things like suicide or certain types of depression, anxiety, kids might feel like they belong if they fit into that group. So it's really important that we talk to kids about how it's not a cool thing. It's not something someone wants to have a mental health disorder. If we are depressed or we have feelings of suicide, it's very serious and someone needs to get help so they can get better. If a child ever says they feel suicidal or thinking about suicidal, we take it 100% serious and we address it. We never think, oh, they're just overreacting or they're trying to identify with a group. But with those young teen years, we do need to be careful that we talk to them before we even hear the word, that we talk to them about what that really means and how serious and scary it is.
When you're talking to middle schoolers, do you find that a lot of them are seeing some of this information coming from social media? I know we've had a lot of stories lately about Instagram and these different platforms that are starting to really take mental health seriously.
Yes, kids are seeing it all over, and it can be good and it can be bad. And that's the scary thing about social media. Maybe not a licensed person is behind that, or someone is doing a TikTok video and talking about being suicidal. So these things can trigger kids and they can make kids feel like maybe I identify with that or maybe I'm that way. So it's really important that we monitor and we kind of have an idea of what our kids are seeing and we keep an open conversation about it, because they are seeing so many things. Also in the school they're talking about this, which is great, but make sure we follow up and have conversations as well with them.
So as you're starting a conversation with a young person about suicide, what are some questions that you think parents could ask their teen if they're starting to worry or they just want to kind of gauge their mental health situation?
Well, asking them what they know about suicide. Unfortunately, a lot of kids, especially kids in high school, have had a firsthand experience knowing someone who's committed suicide. Maybe they weren't best friends, but that person didn't come back to school and grief counselors came on campus. And, you know, sometimes I don't think kids understand the gravity of how much it affects them. They think, oh, you know, that kid was in a different period. I never saw that kid. But it affects them because it affects the entire student body. It affects the way everyone's feeling. People are talking about it. It's coming up. So just asking them what they know, what experiences that they've had, because I think sometimes kids belittle those things because they think they didn't know that person, and just keeping those conversations ongoing.
And open, right?
Very open.
Letting them know that the door is open if they ever have, you know, some sort of concern, they can come to you. That's got to be the hardest part, I think, about parenting, is letting your kids know that you are there as a resource.
Yes, it's so hard, and there's no shame in that. I think parents sometimes feel, you know, guilt or shame in themselves, like what was I doing wrong? And so not reacting in that way, that can be so hard. But when kids come to you saying, you know, it's okay, you can say what you need, and not putting blame on themselves or feeling upset, because then kids will not express how they feel. So it's so important that they kind of remove themselves from the equation and their own emotion, which is so hard, especially in a situation like this.
What's a way to talk to a middle schooler about maybe starting a conversation with a licensed mental health counselor like yourself, you know, and making sure that they feel safe and open having conversations with a therapist?
Well, it's really just talking to a friend, another friend outside that has some, you know, experience working with kids. Kids like to come see me usually. It's funny because I had an 8-year-old come the other day and he was so nervous, and he told his dad he thought it was going to be like TV and I was going to be behind a desk and, you know, crossing my arms, and he's like, wow, she's really nice. It's It's like talking to a friend. So really, that's what it's about. You know, we have these preconceptions that it's something scary, and it's really just having a second person in your life that you can let things out, and they don't have to go anywhere else, you know, and you can process emotions with.
And if parents are looking for that guidance and looking for a way to help their child, what do you recommend? Going and looking for specific licensed mental health counselors in the area, or maybe looking at online tools?
Well, Psychology Today is a great resource, and licensed mental health counselors do provide the counseling and therapy, so that's a really good place to start.
All right. Thank you, Shantala.
Thanks
so
for
nice to
having me.
see you in person.
You too.
I'll send it back to the ladies at the desk.
All right, Kirsten, thank you. As a parent of a middle